Hi, I'm May.
And I'm Casper. And this is Graphite on Tape. On this podcast, we explore our different processes and mediums through conversation. We are both artists, both lesbians, married to each other.
And our first series is Exploring the Artist's Way, a 12-week course by Julia Cameron. Wanted to do the Artist's Way? Now is the time. This is an autonomous peer group. So please, join us each week on Mondays on our free tier on Patreon and listen along and reflect along with us on how it's been going and what you'd like to improve on. Week 11.
Week 11. We've done it.
Week 11. Recovering a sense of autonomy. This week, we focus on our artistic autonomy. We examine the ongoing ways in which we must nurture and accept ourselves as artists. We explore the behaviors that can strengthen our spiritual base and therefore our creative power. We take a special look at the ways in which success must be handled in order that we not sabotage our freedom. Here we are, week 11.
Next week is the last week.
It is.
That's bananas.
I did not get as much as I thought I would from this late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that, as the weeks go on, they've kind of been more and more impactful. This week was a bit stagnant for me, and I think that's just because I accepted that I'm an artist a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like the whole first essay is about acceptance.
Yeah.
And I think that you and I mean, for you especially, you're a full-time artist.
Yeah.
And for myself, I think leading up to the Artist's Way has been a big acceptance of me as an artist.
Yeah.
In the current. Like I was like, oh, I was an artist in the past. But then in the past year, I've really accepted that I'm an artist now. And I don't think that I would have done the Artist's Way if I didn't think that I was an artist.
So much of what I think is really useful in this book is likely for people who have a hard time accepting themselves as artists. Sometimes when I'm reading something, I'll be like, who is Julia talking to? Mm-hmm. And I really think that Julia has done a lot of work in trying to get basically anybody to read this book. Mm-hmm. Even if, and especially if, you don't believe yourself to be creative or don't believe yourself to be an artist. I think she really spends a lot of time and energy on that concept because I do think it is a huge hurdle for many people to accept themselves as creative beings and to accept that they can be or maybe already are artists.
Yeah, definitely.
So I appreciate it. Like when I read it, I'm like, damn, that's nice. But it doesn't really have the same impact because I'm like, that is a hurdle we've jumped.
Another piece of this chapter was about exercise. And it was about trying to find ways to incorporate more walks or playing sports or doing something with movement on a regular basis. And once again, that's something that we've got going on already.
It really is. It's a big part of our day-to-day lives. And I felt the same way when I was reading that. It was funny because sometimes when I'm reading these essays, I'll be kind of nodding along. I'll be like, oh yeah, I do find this really helpful. But I'm already doing it, connecting your brain and your body and like getting into your physical sensations using movement is very useful for your creative practice and is something that I think we both do quite a bit.
Yeah, we go on walks like multiple times a day. We have a lot of walking kind of built into our days and our routines. So that's pretty easy for us, especially in the summer.
100%.
If we can walk it in an hour, we're willing to do it. So that's less so of a new thing to us, but I guess it did affirm that we're on the right path, pun unintended.
Yeah, definitely. It's sometimes nice to hear a concept and be like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm already doing that. Sick.
Another section in this chapter is the artist altar.
Yeah, that was, again, another thing that we have in abundance.
Yes, it really is. We have multiple, like maybe 5 little altars that I can think of off the top of my head strewn about the house.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're not really learning much, but it did remind us to maybe check in with it and make sure that it's all that you need it to be right now. Are there things that could probably go elsewhere? Is there stuff that you need to add to it? It was a good reminder for us, but again, we're already doing it, which like check mark, check mark, check mark. We're really like filling the form or
yeah.
whatever Julia would say.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We're already doing the thing. So yeah, it is really exciting sometimes to read a chapter or read something and they're like, hey, do these 3 things. And you're like, I'm doing 2 out of the 3. I'm already halfway, 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah, it is. It is a nice feeling.
But I guess what we can do is we can say, hey, we have done a bunch of these things. The movement, the affirming that we are an artist and giving ourselves autonomy in our artistic practice, and the altar. So if anybody listening hasn't done those practices yet, we're saying that they worked for us and they have been working for us for a long time. So give them a go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made my first altar in like 2019. 2020, and it has been such a wonderful thing to it's basically like a living spot in your house that's just like, it's full of all of my little weird stuff that I used to really like to pick up random stuff that I'd find in the middle of the road at like 3:00 in the morning when I was wandering around the city. So I have a lot of strange little bits just hanging out on my altar, and it's such a wonderful practice in terms of like being present.
I love it.
Yeah, make an altar. This is your
homework.
This is your homework from us specifically, and also from Julia, but like from us.
Graphite on Tape's first piece of homework. I gotta say, 11 weeks in, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're only asking one little piece of homework of you, which is to make an altar in your house somewhere.
And go for a walk. Preferably after you've eaten. Help with digestion.
Yes. Go on a fart walk.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
One thing that we really need to talk about this week is the morning pages.
Yeah, we really do.
What, like, did we do 3 out of 7 or?
I think 3.
Yeah, we missed at least 3 days.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah. It was really interesting, and we'll get to it more in the exercise. I really feel it when we don't do the morning pages. And then sometimes this funny thing happens where you'll skip a day or 2 and you'll just logic it away and be like, yeah, I'm busy. I had stuff to do, whatever. And then when you finally get back to the morning pages, you'll write this whole thing and you'll be like, oh, I was avoiding something. Or like I got really close to a breakthrough. And then because I got really close to a breakthrough, everything in my body just went, oh God, scared, run away. And you like back off a little bit. And I think that's like a very normal thing to do. So don't beat yourself up if you are also doing this. I had a very like breakthrough filled journaling time when we went back to it.
Yeah, it's been really nice to return, that's for sure. I've felt very heavy on the days that I haven't done my morning pages. And
100%.
I've been trying not to like dwell too much on things. We talked about it last week.
Yes.
I can dwell. I wasn't letting myself like beat myself up. I wasn't trying to like be down on myself for not doing them, but instead really celebrate when I did them again. And I felt like really good.
Yay. Yeah, absolutely. There's no need to beat yourself up. Also, I'm starting to realize, because of the sort of like pattern that I noticed of like getting really close to a breakthrough and then backing away, that's actually just kind of part of the process.
Yeah.
That part of the process is to come up to the edge of the cliff, go, oh God, there's a cliff there, and like take a couple steps back. And like the process of taking a couple steps back is kind of you being like, all right, we're cool. It's okay. Everything's fine. And then you kind of like coax yourself back up to the cliff in a way that like makes you more ready to tackle it.
Definitely.
So I actually just have kind of started embracing it. Like when I miss a couple days, it's like, this is part of the process as long as I come back. Like, you know?
Yeah, as long as you come back. Well, the tasks.
Yeah, why don't we get into talking about the tasks?
So I only did task number 4.
Yeah, I did a couple of them.
Working with the honest changes section in week 4, which is one of the essays. Inventory for yourself the ways you have changed since beginning your recovery. I really liked this chapter because there was a lot to reflect on that I'd already been doing and kind of giving myself a pat on the back, like we said, about, you know, having these practices, some even before we started The Artist's Way. Some I really dug my feet into when I started The Artist's Way, like the walks. But Another reason why I really liked this chapter, because it kind of like went really well with it, was this task.
Yeah.
I really liked looking at all of these things that I have changed in my life since starting the Artist's Way, many of which, you know, aren't super apparently about creativity, but the way that I value myself now and the things that I want and desire has genuinely changed in like a core way. So being able to like look at all the things that I have started doing more seriously since doing the Artist's Way that I was already practicing, like the movement, things that I've already done, like the altar, and then the ways that I've changed, just kind of felt like wrapping this whole experience up in some like really nice paper. So I'll read some of my changes. I became a writer again. I became a dancer again. I expanded my taste buds. I enjoy things with less shame. I wrote an entire chapter for my book. I can do fifth position, which is a ballet position with the legs. I always struggled with, and I have figured out how to do it now. I am taking risks to prioritize myself. I went to and completed 11 of a 12-week ballet class, and the one that I missed, I actually watched the recording. So I did all the classes, and my self-standards for care have raised. This one specifically, I used to have a lot of trouble with like regular hygiene. Whenever I would get depressed or get busy or get stressed out, the first thing would be regular showers and like, or just washing my hair regularly. Like maybe I'd have a quick shower, but I wouldn't like put all the effort in. Or, you know, I would rewear clothes a little too long.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to do laundry. I would find myself like in a swamp of clothes on my floor because I wouldn't put things away. I would start a craft and I wouldn't finish it. And then I also wouldn't clean up after the craft. So it would be like this haunted, unfinished craft in a messy corner, you know, just taunting me.
Just looking at you.
It would just be taunting me just constantly. And a lot of those things have changed.
Yeah.
I don't have clothes strewn about all the time anymore.
No.
It's different, that baseline that I have for myself. I do a bunch of crafts now, and whenever I'm finished, I clean up. And that's a big change.
It is, yeah.
When I went through a little bit of a slow period at the beginning of November, as I was adjusting to the time change and the new weather and the new light, a few things slipped in my life care-wise. The one thing that I really still showed up for myself with was my hygiene and like keeping my hair clean and doing my skincare and things like that. So a lot has really genuinely changed for me at a very like deep core part of myself.
100%.
Yeah, so I really like doing all that reflection. So I like task number 4 quite a bit.
Yeah, task number 4 was quite good.
How about you? What was your experience with the tasks this week?
Yeah, so I also really enjoyed task number 4. It was so funny reading the chapter of week 11 and feeling kind of like, oh yeah, I didn't really feel like I like needed this. Like it was nice to hear, but it wasn't like new. And then the first task that we do being like, go back and read week 4, and then reading it and being like, actually, this is what I really needed to hear this week. It affirmed for me that when you find yourself skipping your morning pages, you are probably really close to a breakthrough, and that is really common. And then being able to take that inventory again was something that I also experienced like very positively, because a lot has changed for me over the last 12 weeks as well. A lot of it actually doesn't necessarily at face value connect with doing art or being creative, but I have found myself like building up this sort of like what I can only really describe as like a new self-esteem, like a new sense of self-esteem that is very like, I don't know, there's like moments in your life where you realize like, oh shit, I'm the adult now. You know? And also that I've had a few like really big breakthroughs personally where I've been able to just like let go of things and stand like very firmly in my own kind of like personal power. So necessary. And one thing that I've really appreciated throughout this book is the way that they ask you to sort of think about your creativity as sort of like an inner child and like an inner artist child, because that's allowed me to reorient sort of the way that I've been treating myself and the way that I think about myself, because I care very deeply about youth autonomy and the care and good treatment of youth. And so reorienting my sort of inner self as like a parent caring for a child has really helped sort of like solidify what I needed to, like, where I was being neglectful of myself. And I've been like, recently, the last 2 weeks specifically, but over the last 12 weeks, like, I have found myself really stepping into a place where like I feel more comfortable taking creative risks. I'm like expanding types of things that I'm working on. One thing that came out of me writing in this exercise is like, I was like, I have been sitting on two things. The fact that I want to do some kind of like class in art, like and drawing, and take some kind of like do some like educational stuff, and also like this synchronicity that kind of happened to me that I ignored a few weeks ago, where I was going into a pharmacy to get distilled water, and in the hallway where the pharmacy was, there's a piano practice studio, and we can literally walk to it from our house. And I remember seeing it, and like everything in my body was like, I want to go play that piano, because it's specifically set up for like conservatory exams. So they have like really fancy pianos in there, and anybody can book it. And I just sat on it. I like had this like whole feeling where I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then like, did nothing. And then I read this chapter and I was doing this exercise, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I need to put my pen down and I need to go book some time in that piano thing. So I have time booked next week to go and play on a really fancy upright Steinway piano. For those who don't know, I do also really enjoy making music. I can play piano, I have guitar. I can't play it, but I will play the bass. I can kind of play the bass. But yeah, it's just something that I don't prioritize very often, particularly because, and I think the workaholism stuff that I had to unpack last week really helped, is like, if I can't see a direct correlation between like keeping us housed and fed, I will ignore things that I want to do. And part of that, a reasonable pressure under the hellscape we live in. A big part of that, not really reasonable and a little bit neglectful of
100%,
of myself and what I want. And also just like playing more in my creative process. Like I have a bunch of ideas for new projects, and some of which I've like sketched out in my morning pages, and like things that I want to work on that I've sort of started dipping my toes into, which is just like all very positive, great things.
I love this for you. What other tasks did you do?
Yeah. So for me, so there was a whole reflection of like where you've been and how you have changed. And then the second part, which is number 5, which is to list some like commitments to yourself on how you will change moving forward. So mine were really around like, I will listen to my morning pages, because there's some gold in there, especially if you haven't gotten to the task where you go and read and reread some of your morning pages. Go do that, because it is there's some stuff in there. And another thing I promised is that I will coax myself back when I shy away from what I need, and I will take better care of myself and center my own needs more, and I will show up for myself even when it is hard. I will take what my inner child wants seriously, and I will honor what I want for myself, actually listen to my inner voice, because I do a lot of ignoring that. So that was a really great exercise. I don't know about you, I also did number 6.
That was it for me. I just did 4 and 5.
Did you want to look at your...
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So another task was to list 5 ways that you will nurture yourself in the next 6 months. And it's really funny because I literally like listed these 5 things, and then I just like immediately went and did it, because the first thing was like, I'm gonna book time to play on the fancy piano. I will sign up for an art class, and I will draw when I want to. I will treat myself to some air quotes laziness and childhood games. Oh, another really fun thing that I did this week was I found the most adorable horse girl game on the Switch and downloaded it. That one's for little baby me who is obsessed with horses. The game is actually nothing special. You're just riding around on horses. It's like a pretty poorly put together game, actually. Yeah, and the last thing that I did in this exercise was talk about how I want to find a way to get access to more PCR tests so that I can see people more, because relying on rapid tests is not really effective. So I've been looking into, with some friends, some ways to get access to more reliable COVID tests so that we can see people more and make some better, like more informed decisions around seeing people.
Exactly. Yeah. And you ended up doing 2 more tasks.
Yes, I did. I did a couple more tasks. They were really great. Honestly, just a lot of really good reflection it felt like that I needed in terms of going. The really nice thing about this chapter was there was a lot of kind of like thinking back and then thinking ahead, which was really nice. It was a good like reflection piece. So that felt really good to get into.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about artist dates?
I do. My artist date this week was play around with the sewing machine. I usually just use a straight stitch because I'm not sure how to use the other ones, and like kept being like, oh, I don't have time to sit down and watch like a little YouTube video from Singer to show me how to use the other stitches. And then I finally did, and I, on a piece of like orange felt, just like tried a whole bunch of stitches back and forth, and they were really cool, and I feel like I understand my sewing machine a lot better. I was sewing and I got an idea and I just went for it, and it worked out really, really well, and I really like it.
Nice.
But in that, I actually had a lot of malfunctions with the sewing machine where I just wasn't moving my fabric the right way, and I got like a big buildup and tangling of thread underneath the, like kind of in where the bobbin sits. And I had to like actually take apart part of the machine and like unstick things and then like figure out how to put it all back together. And I got really, really frustrated and wanted to just like quit, which is what I usually do in the past. I would just like give up if things got really, really hard. And I would be like, that's the universe telling me that I'm not meant to sew or something like that. That's what my brain would reach for. This time, I stuck it through. You know, I took the advice of, you feel frustrated, you feel anxious, you feel depressed. Do the thing while feeling those emotions. So I just like kept at it, and I struggled through it. It wasn't like, oh, now it's super easy. It was still really hard.
Yeah.
But I got it all to work, and every single time that I have a jam in the future, I will be able to unjam my machine. I won't be like, well, I have to like get someone else to fix it. So it all in all felt like really useful and exciting, and like not just useful and exciting because now I can sew more effectively, but useful and exciting because I got through some like personal blocks that aren't even necessarily around creativity, but just around my issue with wanting or waiting for things to be perfect before I do stuff. And as soon as there are obstacles, I like run for the hills. I think it's one of those things where like there have been so many obstacles in my life in like really unavoidable ways that I've had to face, and I've had to spend all this energy trying to find a way to either integrate into my life, break down, get around, you know? And so when I face obstacles that aren't like absolutely necessary to overcome, I'm like, well, I'm just so fucking tired from the ones that I had to face.
Yeah.
And like monumentally tired, like years. So like once they come up again in a way that like I could just not sew right now, it could not be for me. I take that option, right? Or like I was at schools where things were like not all that I wanted them to be, and I was like, I could literally just leave.
Yeah.
When I didn't have that kind of autonomy in other situations, it meant that like, you know, some people might have learned through not having autonomy and struggling through it. They've learned, I can do that. I can struggle through it. I can learn. That could be what they come out with going through that. For me, what I learned was, at every opportunity where I do have the choice to put it down, to leave, to give up, I'm taking that opportunity because I didn't have it in so many situations when I was younger, in my teens, you know, in the main time where everyone experiences not having that kind of autonomy to varying degrees. So it's really nice that like I learned that in my bones, that when I can leave, when I can put it down, when I can give up, when I can stop, I can take that if I want to. And now what I've learned more recently through The Artist's Way is deciphering whether I want to.
Yeah. The discernment instead of the knee-jerk reaction of like, well, if I can, then I'm going to.
Exactly.
It's really funny because I feel like I have had the opposite
Yeah,
experience.
you're the stubborn.
I'm very stubborn, and I will stubborn through things that I have no business stubborning through. That is the thing that I got out of that, which is that, like, you know, when you've had your autonomy taken away from you, when you've been in these situations, obstacles that feel insurmountable that you are then forced through. Yeah, I felt like every single obstacle that came my way, I was gonna be like, I'll show that fucking obstacle. It's like, even if it kills me. It's like, even if it's not what I want, even if it's like, regardless of whether it's what I want. And I feel like it's two sides of the same coin, right? Where like, now I'm starting to like learn how to actually listen to myself and be like, is this what you want? Can you discern like, and sometimes discerning between my like intuition and my like anxious decision making is like two very different things, right?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of practice.
Yes.
With The Artist's Way, which is really nice.
Yes, there's a lot of practice. So very practical, very very helpful.
Did you do your artist date this week?
I did, yeah.
Did you play the horse game? Is that what you did?
So I did like a half and half artist date because I can't actually play the horse game for that long because it's like, it's not.
There's only so many manes you can brush.
Yes, right, exactly. It's like, it's very so I like started and I got all cozy and I made myself a snack and I played my little horse game, and then I went into the studio and I worked on a gift for you that I'm not gonna talk about. Yeah, that was my artist date this week.
We did it. We may have not done all the morning pages, but we got back on track with the artist dates.
Yeah, we
so
really did.
That's awesome. We count wins when we see wins, even if it's one step forward, two steps back situation.
100%.
There was still a step forward.
A step forward still happened, and we will celebrate it, damn it.
I think it's check-in question time.
Okay, it's check-in question time. 1. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? How was the experience for you? Have you recommended morning pages to anybody else? Why? 2. Did you do your artist date this week? Have you considered scheduling an entire artist day? What did you do? How did it feel? 3. Did you experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? 4. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery?
Well, folks, that's it. That's all for episode 11 of the Artist's Way series for Graphite on Tape.
Yeah.
There's only one more episode coming out next week, but that won't be the end of Graphite on Tape.
No, it will not. We have decided.
It'll just be the end of our first series, The Artist's Way. So get ready for a brand new podcast in the new year.
Brand new podcast in the new year. What it is, who can say? Certainly not us.
Thank you for joining us as you do every week. We love doing these, and we love that there are folks out there so invested in our journey as artists. And we hope to see you in the comments on Patreon and see you next Monday for episode 12.
This has been very fun, and it is very nice to do this alongside y'all. So come hang out with us.
Definitely.
Have a nice week.
Bye.
Bye.